revised edit. I had to go back and change some things because my parents said I was being too specific. I'm just gonna replace some parts of the video. Alright, but enjoy. What's going on, YouTube? Yo, so today's my birthday. Crazy. I'm 23 now, man. Time is flying. But I was sitting here working, right, editing some shorts, just thinking about, my life and everything, and I'm like, this will be a great video. Because you guys don't even know about me, really. Like, I never really went into depth about my journey thus far. You know what I mean? It's been a journey. It's been a journey. So I'm about to just break that down. We're just gonna start from the beginning. Yeah, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, do all that. Watch the full video. I got a pretty interesting journey, in my opinion, and this is only the beginning. So let's get into it. I want to start in high school because I think that's where this whole journey begins, in my opinion. Just my school days in general, right? So I was never the smartest kid in school. I was never like the straight A student. I was a C student. I'm gonna just be honest. I was a C average student. I would always have a D in math. I never got math. It was not my strong suit. I was not able to understand it back in school. I would stay with a C in science and history. I was just able to pass science and history always. And if I got lucky, I would have a B in English because it's English. Then I would have like an A in some weird class like photography or film class or band or something like that. Yeah, but in high school, I was that kid, man. I had a lot of friends. I was friends with everybody, right? I wasn't in the popular crowd, but I was friends with everybody. So I was friends with the popular crowd. I was friends with the band guys. I was friends with the film guys. I was friends with the play guys. I was friends with everybody. Everybody was cool with me. If you were cool, I was cool back. I wasn't doing that you don't hang out in my group, I can't kick it with you. Nah, I wasn't even like that. All through high school and all through my school experience, I remember ever since I was young, I've been very into the arts. I was in band for a while. In high school, I joined photography. I was in film class. I love film class. That's why I love making these YouTube videos. I fell in love with editing and all that stuff, and photography. I really enjoy photography. And then I got into music production. And music, I've always loved music. Like I said, I was in band. I remember in middle school, I wanted to be a famous DJ. And I'm gonna drop a picture here of this little picture of me that I edited in middle school being a famous DJ. It was like a little English assignment we had to do about what we wanted our career paths to be. So, but yeah, I loved music. And when I got into high school, I found out about rap. My dad put me on to rap. Rap was really getting big in my school. Rap started blowing up and I got into beats because I had already practiced DJing from my middle school days, and I liked EDM. It's like electronic music. It's a bunch of dubstep and all that type of stuff. But then I got into high school. Yeah, I got into rap, got my hair faded, you know what I mean? I got fresh. And I met this guy and we started making beats together, right? Honestly, that was like my first entrepreneurial little venture, right? Because when I was making beats, everybody in school knew I made beats because I had a bunch of music with a bunch of people in school. Like rap was getting big. Everyone wanted to be a rapper, right? So I came out, I bought a mic and I bought a speakers, and I had the setup in my basement. And everybody would pay to make tracks with me. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy. I had so many appointments every week. It was almost getting too crazy for my parents. Like, they were, yeah, it was crazy. I made a lot of money in high school just from making music. And on top of that, artists got recognized in my school for making music. Like, they would make a track, everybody would hear it, and be like, oh, that's fire, oh. Now they want to make music. I'm the only guy in the high school who's doing that. I had a literal monopoly over the studio time in my high school, right? And this was spread to other schools. I had a monopoly over my whole county. It was crazy. I had people from other schools coming to my basement making music with me. They were paying. It was tough. So that was my thing. I wanted to be a famous producer. I love making beats and I engineer for money. I didn't quite love to engineer other people's vocals because people can't rap for one, and it just takes forever to engineer a song, but I did it for money, whatever. Come time for it to be college, we're seniors, we're about to graduate, it's 2018, everyone's applying for colleges. I'm like, my grades are not that good. My grades are not that good. I'm like a C average student. My grades are not the best. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And mind you, my parents were like, yeah, we're not paying for your college. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. And honestly, I'm grateful that they did that, because if they would have paid for my college, life probably would have been looking a lot different right now. And if they paid for a lot of stuff, life would have been looking different. So I appreciate my parents for, leaving me with that type of responsibility and making me figure out a way to come up with it on my own. Because that, honestly, is why I am who I am today, because I had to figure out so much stuff on my own, you know what I mean? They were like, we're not paying for your college. So I'm like, all right, let me go to community college then, because one, I don't even like school for real. I don't like school, but this is what everyone says we gotta do. We gotta go to college. What else do we do? and you're not paying for it. So yeah, let me go to community college, cheap, and I could just dabble around in it. So I go to community college, right? And I go there to learn how to engineer music because that's what I wanted to do. My goal back then was to engineer music, get into studios, and then push my beats to rappers that I was recording, you know what I mean? And I thought that would be my way into the industry, being a famous producer. So that was the goal then. So I'm going to school, I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, yo, this sucks. This sucks. Because one, I suck at school. Like, nothing changed between the summer of me graduating high school and going into college. Nothing changed. So now I'm going to school, I'm still getting bad grades, nothing is processing in my head. They're teaching, but nothing makes sense. And that's how I was in high school. Nothing ever made sense. So I'm there, I'm failing. Classes are just as hard, if not harder than they were in high school, and I'm paying for it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. So I'm like, yeah, this is not it. This is not it. So I go to my parents. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling the college life. I want to do real estate. At the time when I was in college, I was just researching jobs that didn't need a college degree to do, and I found real estate. So when I went to my parents and came to them with the notion of I'm done with college, but I have a plan of going into real estate, they were cool with it because it wasn't like I'm just dropping out to drop out. I dropped out with a goal and with a plan. My dad was like,
yeah, all right, that's cool.
I know a guy. He owns a brokerage in Philly. I'm gonna put you guys in touch. So that's what he does. He puts us in touch. He ended up being my first broker. He at the time put me onto a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Banger book. So then he tells me to read that book and come to his classes so that I can go through the pre-licensing exam and then eventually get licensed to be a Pennsylvania realtor. So I'm reading this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and yo, this book expanded my whole everything on everything, man. Like, back when you're in school and life, they generally teach you that you work for money, right? You work to pay bills, to live. But Rich Dad Poor Dad completely rewired my entire perception on reality. And basically what he taught in that book is you work for assets that then pay for your lifestyle. That way you're not always one paycheck away from just being done, out the game. You pay for an asset or something that will pay you to live your lifestyle. So there's an extra step there. So I'm like, yo, that's fire. I like that. So I'm studying for my real estate exam, going all the way to West Philly. My dad is such a goat for this, man. Like, I live in Montgomery County, right outside of Philly, and his office was about 45 minutes away, right? And my dad would drive me up, I think, twice a week. I can't quite remember. I think it was twice a week to West Philadelphia, and he would just sit around, right? So he would drive me 45 minutes up there, sit around for a couple hours, and then drive me back, right? Yo, a goat, dude. And I remember one time I forgot my notebook at the crib, right? And we drove all the way to West, and I was like, yo, Dad, I forgot my notebook. He was like, all right, let's go back and get it. So we drove back 45 minutes to get it, and then drove back to the office. Yo, my dad's a goat, man. I'm telling you. So I'm learning, I'm grinding, I'm figuring out how to get my license and whatnot. I'm studying. I'm still in school at the time because I gotta finish out the semester. I'm paying for it. So yeah, look, I'm studying. I passed the pre-licensing course, and next is the actual exam. So you have to enable to be a real estate agent. You have to go through two different phases, right? You have the pre-licensing, which teaches you everything you need to know about being a realtor and the laws and everything. Once you pass this course, then you're allowed to take the state exam and the national exam. And this exam is the one that it allows you to be able to sell real estate in your given state. I passed the pre-licensing exam and I'm ready. I'm studying for the actual exam, and then 2020 hits and it's COVID and everything shuts down. I'm just pretty much at a standstill. I don't know what to do. So we're just sitting around. It's COVID, it's lockdown. Then 6 months pass and everything kind of lifts back up. It's still we're masked up. You still can't go everywhere without masks. It's super strict, but we're able to go outside of this. You guys remember this time. At this time, I decided to get a job, right? Because I need a car. I'm like, if I'm gonna be a realtor, I need to be able to get around to places to show houses. So I'm like, I'm getting a car. I'm working. I get a job at the UPS. I don't have a car, right? So my mom's like, just take SEPTA. She grew up in Philly. SEPTA does not work in the county. I'm gonna let you know right now, bro, that it doesn't work. Because when I was going to school, when I was going to college, I was taking SEPTA. They were always late. They were always early. If you miss the bus, you gotta wait like a 2-hour period. Like in Philly, I get it. It's like every 30 minutes. They have a schedule. It's not like that in the county. It's not even close to like that. It barely works because everyone has cars out here. You understand me? So my mom's like, yeah, just take SEPTA. I'm like, Mom, nah, because it didn't work for school. I don't even want to put my job on the line to try to catch the bus. So I apply for the night shift because I know my parents are going to be asleep and the cars aren't going to be used. So I'm driving. I'm going there at 11 p.m. and I'm there. I'm grinding in this joint, man. It's my first job. I'm grinding, man. I'm hustling. UPS is like, I was a package loader, so I would be in the back of the trucks and I would be loading packages onto the truck. Man, that was crazy work, man. That was some crazy work, but I was hustling. And peak season, around peak season was that's what they call peak season, is when it picks up. It's around Christmas, man. I was eating. I made connections with all of the supervisors and all my bosses. I was cool with them. We stayed, talked, kicked it, and around the time when they needed more work, guess who the first person they was talking to was? So I'm in that John. I'm working doubles, but it was a part-time job, so doubles will be a full-time 8-hour shift. But it's pretty much 8 hours with no break. And I'll be pretty much working 8 to 10 hours every day. No break at all because it's part-time. They would tell you to take a break, but the next shift would start as you're taking a break. So it didn't even make sense. I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna just take a little bathroom break, 2 seconds, and then go do what I was doing. So I would pretty much be working 8 hours straight, 10 hours straight, every single day for like 2 months straight. And I ran up a little bag. I was making chicken in that John. Within, I wanna say 8 or 9 months, I had saved up about 10 grand to buy my first car. Yeah, so I bought my first car. It's a 2010 Nissan Altima. I still have that car to this day. Still doing me great. Still get me from point A to point B. And I saved up for that car and I bought it, excited. At this time, while I was at UPS, I was still studying for my exam. So when I get my car, I was out of UPS. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm cool. And at that time, coincidentally, I'm gonna call him broker one, who owns the brokerage, is like, yo, we're looking for some help at the brokerage, come through, you know what I mean? So I'm like, bet, because I was trying to get out of UPS. So I get my car and I start traveling up to West Philadelphia to work with him, right? And this is pretty much where my whole real estate journey began, if you want to say that. So basically he had me up there. He was paying me to be his admin, like the front desk guy. It was a small brokerage. I would hold down the office, check people in, talk to them, answer the phones, whoop whoop. And at the same time, I was attempting to build my business. Mind you, man, at the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. He just told me to cold call and try to get appointments. Like, that's very vague for a new agent. I had no clue what that meant. I didn't know what to say on the phones. I didn't know anything. I was just doing it, right? So you can imagine how much luck I had with that. I'm still educating myself on business. I'm still reading up, and I learned about the word systems, right? Systems and processes. And every business to operate needs to function off of systems and processes in order to run, right? This is the backbone of the business. So I'm going up to him and I'm like, all right, so you told me to just call, but I know that there needs to be systems and processes in place for a business to function. So what are your systems and processes? What do I do and what guidelines do I follow in order to start making money as a realtor? And of course he was dumbfounded. Systems, processes, what do you, so I'm like, okay, so you just had me out here. Mind you, I've been there for a couple of months, man, and he had me doing everything in that thing. Everything pretty much but being an agent. I closed my first deal with him, and he pretty much just threw me in the water. I botched my first deal. Dude was expecting a certain amount of money. He was a seller selling his real estate. It was my first listing contract. He was expecting a certain amount of money, and my broker was just like, yeah, just do it. I'm like, just do it? You're not gonna show me how? Like, what? So I'm just out there fumbling my way through this process. I'm traveling back and forth between Westchester and West Philadelphia, just running up my miles in my car, back and forth. I didn't get one little section signed, or I got this section wrong, or I got this section wrong. And instead of just telling me exactly what to fill out, I had to fumble my way through this process, right? Whatever. Closing day comes. I'm excited. I'm like, bet, we're gonna close. Broker is just like, yo, go up to the settlement office and just go up there and close the deal. I'm like, you're not coming? You're just gonna send me up there myself? I mean, like, what did I expect, right? So I go up there, we're doing the whole settlement process. We have our attorneys there and everything. They're doing what they do. We got the buyer there. I'm representing the seller. Seller didn't come because he's in Westchester doing whatever he's doing. So we're there, settlement table. They show me the HUD and the number seems a little off. So I'm like, we're supposed to be expecting a certain amount of money, but what do I know? It's my first settlement. No one's here to show me what to do. I'm like, maybe they took some off for taxes or whatever. So then I sign off and I go back. He's like, bro, this is not, we told the seller we were gonna make X, Y, and Z. I'm like, so yeah, we had to explain that. That was just, whew. Also, man, my broker had me in his rentals. He had me managing his rentals in Westchester. I was driving back and forth Westchester talking to his tenants. He had me painting his rentals. He had me sweeping, applying doors, making closets, and all types of just crazy, all types of crazy. I was removing hot water tanks from basements, and the hot water tanks were full of water and sealed shut because of sediment. So I had to get creative and yo, I was doing some crazy, stupid labor, like stuff that was just stupid, just dumb, like just dumb. And I was getting paid $8 an hour for it, just dumb. Like I was just cheap labor, right? He had me installing hot water tanks, installing water lines, and yo, it was just dumb. So I'm like, bro, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. This is stupid, right? Because you don't have any systems for one, and I'm just doing work for you. You're not showing me anything. So I'm like, yo, I'm out this joint, bro. I'm out this joint. So I looked up to this guy, right? I looked up to this guy because he was a nice guy. He was very genuine as a person, but was just using me, to be honest. I don't know how you could be a genuine person, but then like stepping all over this. I was like 20 at the time, or yeah, I was like 19 or 20 at the time. You're like using this kid fresh out of school for all of your labor needs that you know you should be paying me more for real. And you should be getting a contractor or a professional to be doing this stuff. But you got me, who you're paying $8 an hour to do this. You feel me? So I just charged it to the game, whatever. So months pass. I'm like, yo, I'm out this joint, right? I'm just trying to do this on my own. And this is the first time I did not have any income, no job. And I'm just trying to figure it out, start my business, trying to just take it off the ground. So I'm cold calling still, because that's what the last guy told me to do. And I still don't know what to say. I still don't know what I'm going for. I still don't know anything about the business. I'm just doing it, right? That was pretty much when I got my cold call jitters out. That's why now I'm kind of a little bit more, you know what I mean? Because I just been cold calling for months at a time with no results, and I've been getting cussed out for forever. So I was just by myself at this time. I'm not at the brokerage anymore. He stopped paying me because I just quit. I was like, I'm not coming up. You're not helping me at all. I'm working by myself, still cold calling. And I have a friend who he has this guy in his family who does real estate as well. He does more like contract work. So I needed money. I had a car payment to pay, and I needed money. So I'm like, bet. We start working together, and that was a little cool situation. We were going around the houses, installing drywall. We were painting, just more labor. And I learned a lot of hands-on stuff with that guy. He was cool. But I eventually had to step away from that because that's not why I got into real estate. I didn't get in to do the work. You know what I mean? I got in to build a business, to leverage. So I'm like, nah, that's not the way I need to go. So I'm with my good friend at the time, and she's like, I know someone who does real estate. She she wants you to come. She wants you to join her team. When I was at the last brokerage, she was begging me to come join her team. Around this time, like, yeah, I'm a join. So I get there, right? It was a great team. It was an all girls team. I'm the only guy on there. I'm the youngest person on there, and it was cool. You know, they had some hitters. I'm just helping her I'm going through the new agent process. You know, every new agent helps, you know, the senior agents with open houses. They help file paperwork. They help do all that stuff. And I'm cool with that because at least I'm doing a little bit of agent stuff, right? So then months go by, right? And I'm still doing the same stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I ask her, I'm like, so what do your systems look like? What do your processes look like? How do you go from getting a client to a closing a deal, right? To walk me through that. And guess what she said? My systems, and I'm like, what is happening right now? What is going on? So I'm like, bro, I need to figure out how this game works. So I'm still working with her, and on the side, I'm looking for jobs, right? I'm looking for sales jobs because I need to figure out how to sell and what systems go into that. Oh. Hold on, so I'm recording with my phone, so hopefully the audio is cool. I forgot to mention here, I picked up a job at Giant. The reason I needed to work at Giant was because while I was working at my first brokerage, I got into a car accident. A couple weeks later, I got a flat tire. So I had to come out of pocket to fix both the hood and my rim. That was pretty much the final straw. And while I was working at Giant, I was working with broker number 2. At this time is when I started looking for a sales job to take me out of Giant. All right, back to the video. So I'm looking, and I find a job at Mazda, car salesman, right? So I apply, I get the job, right? And I'm in there. And man, they showed me their processes or whatever, what they do. That's when I got introduced to a CRM. That's when I got introduced into processes, how to close. I got introduced to all that. It was the same situation. Sales is very much so a they throw you in type situation. So I got thrown into the car sales thing. I didn't really get too much training. I just had to fumble my way through it. And eventually, after a couple of months, I just grinded, got disciplined, and I worked my way up to being top salesman in there. I was top salesman for about 2 months. They were going through, the company when I had joined had just got bought out. A lot of the employees there were getting used to a lot of new systems and a lot of new procedures and whatnot, and they were not happy. The commissions were different, a lot of the structures were different, so they were struggling, right? And around the time when I worked my way up to being top salesman, the place had just fallen apart. It was bad in there. It was so bad in there. All the managers had low morale because they got paid less. They were getting tasked with more work, what they thought was more work, but it was just new systems. Like, it's just a game, bro. Like, come on, stop whining. We're in sales. Just get it done. So they were complaining and whatever, and I just got fed up one day, I just got really fed up one day, and I had a client come in. She was a young lady. She was super excited to get her car. It was her first car. She comes in. There were some issues because she wanted her car registered in PA, but her license was from like Georgia or something. So we go, all right, go to the DMV, come back with your PA license, and we'll get it registered here. So she goes, okay, comes back, and she goes, oh, I wasn't able to get it registered in PA. So I'm like, let me talk to my manager, see what they say. They go, oh yeah, we can finagle it, we can finesse it. So she's there for another couple of hours, and then my manager comes back. It's like, nah, it's not gonna have to work. We're gonna have to have you come back with a PA license. So then the next day she comes back. She has her PA license. We got her approved. She's all ready to go. We're good. And we're sitting there. It had to be like 6 hours, something like that, right? And my sales manager's running back and forth. I see him on the floor running back and forth from my manager to his office, and I'm like, what's going on, man? What is it now? Because it was always something in there. It was always something. It was just hard to make money. So I go over there. I'm like, what's the issue? And we've been there for 6 hours, and this girl has been Ubering back and forth twice a day for 3 days to get this car because of our negligence. And I know she messed up one time, but it was mainly us giving her false hope, or my manager's giving her false hope that she's gonna get this car, because they're car salesmen. They want to make the sale any mean. They're gonna tell you anything. You know what I mean? So finance guy is like, yeah, the manager, he got her approved for the wrong vehicle. I was so fed up, man, because the last 2 months when I'm producing the most, it has been a headache in there, right? It's just gotten worse and worse and worse since I started and I ended that job. Just gets worse and worse. The processes get worse. All the customers are just mad. It was 12-hour days every day, and that was by my choice because I was grinding. I was working 12 hours a day. I was there 6 days a week. If they were open, I was there. Holidays, I don't care. That's a bar. But I'm there. You know, customers were getting upset because the managers just were not up to par. It wasn't a quick process. We had customers in there for 8 hours, 8+ hours, waiting on a vehicle. We were super understaffed. We had 5 salesmen. I remember some Saturdays, I promise you, bro, there were 5 of us juggling at least 5 or 6 different customers at a time. You know how crazy it is to sell a car to 6 people at one time? You know how crazy that is? That's nuts. So I'm like, we're getting it done. I'm killing it though. I'm making so much money in that John, bro. I've never seen that much money hit my bank account every month, ever. I'm talking about like, I was close to 5-figure checks in that John. Close. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, this is possible. And I'm learning how to sell. I'm getting hot at negotiation. So that was needed. I needed to go there. Even though it sucked and it didn't last, I needed to go there. They're like, yeah, we got our approved for the wrong car. So of course I had to be the bad guy and break the bad news to her, right? So I break the bad news to her. She's upset. I'm upset. So I'm like, all right, I know you Uber here, so where do you work? I drove her to work. I never came back to the dealership. That was it. I drove her to work and never showed up again. They were like, yo, where you at? No answers, no nothing, because I was so done with that place, man. I put in so much work, and they just made it real difficult to make money for the hustlers, you know what I mean? Pretty much a month after I quit there, I took a little break because I was working a lot then. So I just needed a little time to readjust myself. And a month later, I started my YouTube, and that's where we are. And you might ask me, why did I choose wholesale instead of going back to being a real estate agent? The reason that is because I got into real estate to become a landlord and to gain assets, referring back to Rich Dad Poor Dad, working to buy assets that pay me. So my asset of choice is going to be rental properties and business. Those are my assets of choice. I like the business model of wholesale a lot more than I do of being an agent, only because when I was doing sales in cars, it was more straightforward. It was a numbers game. If it made sense for the buyer, it made sense, and if it didn't, it didn't. Real estate, being an agent, there's a lot of emotion involved. I don't like this and that. You got to go on showings. People are wishy-washy. I'm like, I'm not really feeling it. And plus, on top of that, I'm here to build a business. So the scalability of being a real estate agent, I don't know, man. You can have a team. Wholesale attracted me more because it reminds me of car sales. Did really good there. And it's scalable, right? So I'm cold calling. I'm doing everything I do. Eventually, I'm going to hire out people to do that stuff. I'm able to scale the business. The business model is very easily scaled. Plus, the profit margins are awesome. Low overhead. That's where we are. I'm grinding. I'm figuring out the business. I'm learning something new every day. This journey has been an absolute blessing. It's hard sometimes. Sometimes days are easy, but it's a blessing. I'd rather be doing this than working any 9 to 5. To be honest with you, I work long hours, but I'm building something that I could be proud of, and I'm building something for myself. You know what I mean? And I love business. I love the thought of building a machine that is able to produce results on a consistent and repeatable basis. I love that. I'm excited to see what the next couple of months have in store for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. We have a lot more planned. For the future. future. A lot more growth, a lot more success, a lot more failures. But we're gonna stick through it because I'm determined to make this business work, and it's going to work. That's a fact. Just a matter of when. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. Comment down below how your journey began. DM me on Instagram too. It's gonna be right here. Follow me there. Let's connect. I hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed week, and just keep grinding, man. Let's get this money. Peace.